Holy cow, Hyundai just came out with a press release about pricing for the 2026 Ioniq 5, and it is impressive. So as many of you know, today is October 1st, and that means the federal tax credit for EVs in the US is no more. At least we thought it was. So before we get into the pricing, in this press release, there is something here that you're going to find interesting if you didn't squeeze in your 2025 Ioniq 5 purchase before the end of September. And that is remaining 2025 model year Ioniq 5 vehicles will continue to qualify for $7,500 purchase and lease incentives. So that means you're going to continue to get those really cheap leases as well as purchase prices. I'm not sure exactly how they're doing this, if they have some sort of workaround or something, but they are going to continue offering that $7,500 discount, at least for the next couple months, because we don't expect 2026 model years to go on sale until probably November or so. So with that out of the way, let's look at these discounts for the 2026 Ioniq 5. So pricing reduced by up to $9,800. That is huge. So with the federal tax incentive gone now, you're getting a even bigger discount coming for 2026. And you might be thinking, oh, that might be for only the limited trim. No, average price reduction for all models is $91.55. And what does that mean the base MSRP is now? Ioniq 5 SE rear-wheel drive, $35,000. Hyundai saying to the world, hey, we are going to compete now. We've got this brand new factory in the US. We've got everything lining up. Let's go scorched earth and grab as much market share as possible. So with this $7,600 discount on the cheapest version now, this is putting it on par with Chevy Equinox EV, getting close to the new Nissan Leaf. It's right there with the Toyota BZ4X. So it's staying competitive, which is important now that the federal tax incentive is gone. Now, I did put out a video a few months ago with some of the changes coming between the 2025 and the 2026 model year. And for the SEL trim, it's seeing a significant cut to some of the features. So they're taking out a lot of features from some trims to kind of make up for these massive price cuts. So you're going to have to keep that in mind, whether you want to wait for the 2026 or go out and try to get a 2025 right now while there's still some in stock. But if you haven't seen that video, I will have a link in the description below where it talks about all the changes. So Hyundai says, we just announced today substantial pricing reductions for the lineup, reinforcing the brand's commitment to making EVs more accessible and competitive in the rapidly evolving EV market. The repositioning effort includes model price reductions ranging from $7,600 to $9,800, enabling Hyundai to better align with current market dynamics and support increased U.S. production volume. These changes come as part of a broader strategy to maintain the Ioniq brand's leadership in electric vehicle space while responding to shifting consumer expectations and competitive pressures. Hyundai Motor North America's CEO Randy Parker says this pricing realignment reflects our commitment to delivering exceptional technology and innovation without compromise. So with all that being said, let's look at the prices. So as previously mentioned, that SE rear-wheel drive with the small battery pack now starts at $35,000, a price reduction of $7,600. And here's where things start to get really interesting. So now we move up to the cars with the big 84 kilowatt hour battery pack. SE rear-wheel drive, $37,500, a reduction of $9,150. SEL rear-wheel drive now starts under $40,000. That is a reduction of $9,800. Man, that is really wild. And Ioniq 5 limited rear-wheel drive is going from $54,300 to $45,750, a reduction of $92,225. Now, say you don't want rear-wheel drive, you want all-wheel drive. SE all-wheel drive now starts at $41,000, a reduction of $9,150. SEL all-wheel drive starts at $43,300, a reduction of $9,800. The XRT trim now starts at $46,275, a reduction of $9,225. If you want that with a trailer hitch, $46,725, a reduction of $9,225. And the Big Kahuna, the limited all-wheel drive, which is what I own, $48,975, a reduction of $9,225. Very impressive stuff. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am so excited to hear this. My big fear with the loss of the tax credit was Hyundai was just going to leave prices where they were, sales were going to stagnate, but no, they are saying we are ready to compete now that we have this factory in the US. We are going to do everything we can to sell these cars. And this is all before whatever possible incentives there are on top of this. So we could see even lower leasing deals compared to what's currently available. I think the thing that really excites me here is that the 2025 Ioniq 5 limited all-wheel drive is now within $25 of the Model Y long-range all-wheel drive, which is $48,990. So this is Hyundai straight up saying, Tesla, we're going to take your lunch money. So that's pricing for the 2026 Ioniq 5. Now, if you're not interested in an Ioniq 5, but are interested in an Ioniq 6 or an Ioniq 9, sorry, I don't have any information for you. With my luck, they'll come out with another press release right after I post this video where they talk about what they're going to do with those two cars. This press release comes out on the heels of the Q3 sales information being released and for the month of September. So Ioniq 5 sold incredibly well. A lot of this is going to be because everybody was rushing out trying to get these cars before the tax credit went away, but they sold 8,408 Ioniq 5s versus September of 2024. They only sold 3,336. That's a 152% increase. For Q3, they've sold 22,000 Ioniq 5s. Q3 of 2024, they sold just about half, 11,590. And so far, year to date, Hyundai has sold 41,091 Ioniq 5s. Year to date last year, 30,318. So they've increased their sales volume by 36% for the year so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next 3 months, if it's going to kind of be on pace with last year or if it's still going to potentially exceed it. Now, the real Debbie Downer here is still the Ioniq 6, which sold really poorly. Ioniq sales for September, 814 units. This is an order of magnitude lower than the Ioniq 5 sales volume. So that is just really depressing to see. I don't know what the issue is. They are available to buy. It's not like there's a supply constraint. People just don't seem to want them. And it's a real shame because I really love mine. It is basically on par with last year though. 2025 year to date, 9,132. 2024 year to date, 9,097. So overall throughout the year, it's basically on pace with last year. Ioniq 9 sales still aren't fantastic. 1,075 units in September. That brings the year so far up to 4,177. Obviously, we don't have sales data for last year because it wasn't on sale, but it's just selling a lot slower than I thought it would. And in regard to Kona Electric, which I've talked about in another video, they are getting rid of that almost entirely for the 2026 model year. It will only be available with the small battery pack SE trim. So there will no longer be that larger battery SEL or limited trim version of it. And it totally makes sense why they did that now, because they brought Ioniq 5 prices down so significantly that there would be no point in offering the Kona Electric just completely overlapping with the cheaper Ioniq 5s. Those lower cost Ioniq 5s are really just so much more car for the money compared to the Kona. So I'm sad to see it go. It's a good car, but also super excited to see a lot more people get into the Ioniq 5 brand. And while we're talking about Hyundai sales, we might as well look at Kia's real quick because theirs came out today too. So far for 2025, EV9 sales, 12,448, which is considerably lower than this time last year where they sold almost 16,000. And EV6 sales so far this year, really not great compared to Ioniq 5. 11,077, which is significantly less than they were in 2024 at almost 16,000. They were basically in parity, the EV6 and the EV9 in terms of sales. So Ioniq 5 is selling almost 4-to-1 versus the Kia EV6. So that's just really interesting to me. If you didn't already see my 2025 Kia EV6 review video, be sure to check that out. I think it's an excellent EV. I think when you put it side by side with the Ioniq 5, they're just different enough that I think people who want more space in their car are going to go for the Ioniq 5 versus the sportier, more hatchback styling of the EV6, but it is what it is. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I am super pumped to see this. Can't wait to see what 2026 is going to look like for Ioniq 5 sales with this new pricing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Maybe some of you who just bought your Ioniq 5s instead of leasing them see this and you're saying, damn it, I wish I waited. But if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Over 80% of you who watch these videos aren't subscribed. So hit that button, hit the bell so you'll be notified when my next video goes live. If you did just get an Ioniq 5, be sure to check out my store at ioniqguy.com for all sorts of accessories for your new car. Especially one of my best-selling items is the adapter holder. So your car comes with a CCS to NACS and a J1772 to NACS adapter, but really no good place to store them. So I made multiple adapter holders that can go in the trunk, the center console, or the glove box. Be sure to check those out if you're interested. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.